How you guys doing today, Toon Family? I'm Webtoon King, and today I'll be doing a chapter review of Hardcore Leveling Warrior Earth games. This is a Prologue. I'm gonna do the reviews of every single one of them. I think the 6th chapter as of today. So I also have another channel. Another channel is basically the same name, Webtoon King. I think it's like 6046. It's the tag. I'm not sure, but it's another channel, Webtoon King, but that one's for my manga. This one's actually for my webtoon. So today, this is gonna be my first webtoon video, a chapter review of Hardcore Leveling. Obviously, I'm gonna stay throughout and try to do all these videos. I'm still trying to figure out the streaming thing because I want to stream the X and Ash series on YouTube. Once I figure out how to stream that without getting copyright, then I'm gonna start streaming them because they got like 80 chapters. I'm kind of behind, so I don't want to do a chapter review of 80 chapters. But Hardcore Leveling just came out, only has 6 chapters, so I should be done in like 2-3 weeks with all these chapters, and that's it. So before we talk about the review, let's talk about my love for the series. First thing first, let's talk about the art style and story. And this is one of my main attractions to the series. Webtoon Hardcore Leveling is obviously a South Korean series. If you guys didn't know that, is well known for its distinct visual aesthetics, lively characters design. I love the character design and detailed backgrounds. There's also action-packed. There's a fantasy component to the plot. I mean, aka it's a game universe, so obviously it's a fantasy plot. And the graphics kind of conveys this perfectly. Like if you want to think of a manga series that you can compare to Hardcore Leveling, let's just say SOA, Soul Art Online. Now let's talk about the appeal of the main character to me and the difference between him and other main characters in other series, aka Shonen Jump. One of the main reasons I started liking reading webtoons and other series that's outside of Shonen Jump is because the main characters, they don't make the main characters stupid. So let's talk about the beginning of the virtual reality. It's called Lucid Adventures. Now I'm still talking about the old series, Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Ethan was ranked number 1. This is the main character I'm talking about. But his confidence sometimes will leave him to trouble. Even though sometimes the confidence can be cockiness, but he actually backed it up because he was the number 1 ranked player. But because of his confidence, he lost his rank, and he got tricked out of his ranked number 1 spot. Nevertheless, over the course of the series, we see Ethan character development, and I find that very interesting because it shows his roads towards redemption and his developed sense of duty. It also shows his process of falling from grace from when he lost his rank, and how he get his power backs and ascend back to top rank. Which, this is why I love the series. It shows his fall, but it also shows that he still got like his skills. Like he knows he played the game. He's number 1, so even though he's not ranked number 1, Ethan can still play the game right. And the difference between him, Ethan, and other main characters, like let's say Shonen Jump, Luffy and Goku. I hate sometimes how dumb they make Luffy and Goku. I say Goku because he's a goofy, but I hate Luffy and Goku archetypes. Even though Goku is one of my favorite characters because it's like the godfather of all manga, but I hate how they make them so stupid. So that's why I like Ethan. They show his process. Even though he loses power, he still is able to basically play the game without being too difficult. The other thing I love about Ethan is his signature ability, Lucky Coin. It allows him to increase his luck, also turning the tides of battle in his favor. But due to him losing his power, Ethan has to use more of his intelligence. So you get to see that his intelligence and cunningness, you see that more instead of him just being strong. You just see him using tactics more. So let's move on to the review of the new Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Is basically the same title. The only thing they added is Earth Games. So obviously that's kind of a hint that the game is coming to the real world. But either way, let's talk about it. I am very excited to go down this journey with you guys. Like I said, you guys are my Toon family. I'm going to call you guys Toon family. This series was in my top 3 favorite webtoons ever. So let me give you a list of my favorite webtoons. The first one is God of High School. Second one is Hardcore Leveling Warrior. And the last one is Tower of God. This is my top 3 for now. I obviously have other webtoons. I'm reading like 100 of them. But I'm only going to give you guys my top 3. Alright, let's talk about the prologue. Hardcore Leveling Warrior Earth Games return as a thrilling and well-known Lucid adventure universe. So I love how it brought back the universe. We're getting this prelogue basically captivates us right away with details, environment that also has a new sense of mystery in the air throughout this prelogue. In the beginning, it explains the beginning of the webtoon, it explained to us how the goddess named Zero killed half of the population in the last series, but Ethan was able to give up his skills, abilities, god status to rewind history, where to the point where people are still safe, but all his friends lost their memories, including him, I guess. Ethan was able to reset time 5 years. But we see all the fragments. I'm sorry, my English is bad. Fragments of Zero being recovered in this prelogue. And it basically became a physical form, which they call it God Toy in this prelogue. That's what they call it, God Toy. Which means even though Ethan gave up all his powers and status and he was a god basically, he still fell because it's coming back to Earth, the God Toy, that's what they call it. With all the history of them, the powers and everything. We start off the story with seeing Ethan, the new Ethan. He's basically 33 years old. He's working as a project manager in a studio called, I'm going to spell it out because I don't know how to say it, YLZS. That's the studio. We get to see Sorrow. She's 26 right now in the current storyline. She invites Ethan to eat, but he refused because he basically have a crush on somebody else. But we hold up on that. But let's talk about Sorrow. Obviously, you guys should know who Sorrow is. She is the one of the trios of our last series. They just all lost their memories, so that's why they don't talk about the last series. But Sorrow is one of the last trios of the last series, but I think she still has a crush on Ethan, so that's probably why she invited him. But Ethan didn't want to go until he heard that Armin was gone. Now, let's talk about Armin. I believe Armin is the guild master of the last series that died. The one that I think he had a crush a little bit on it. So it's kind of being bring back to full circle. Even though they all lost their memories, they still have like the feeling of each other, like what they had when they were in the game of Hardcore Leveling Warrior in the last series. They still got their feelings. They just don't remember each other. So like I said, I think Armin is, I don't think that's how you say her name, but Armin, I think she is the guildmaster that died in the last series. But like I said, Ethan decided to go to lunch now because he heard that Armin is going. While they walk into lunch, you just see them talking about a comet that's supposed to hit tonight, basically. And we learned something called MeTube or whatever. I think that's their YouTube for the series. I think that's what they call their YouTube. But while they're walking, you see Ethan trying to riz up Armin with a sticker, a rainbow dragon sticker, which is basically red. But you see Sora and her mom just hating. Like I said, I think she has a crush, so she's trying to make sure this don't go through. She's trying to make sure Ethan don't give it Armin. But Sora's basically thinking in her head that he can't win her over with a sticker. Which is good for Sora because Armin kind of refused in a real way. She basically tell Ethan that she's a self-collector. She only keeps the collectibles that she bought herself, which I call cap, but it worked on Ethan because he's easily convinced, I guess. So Sora decided to take the card. Like I say, all this batterings back and forth makes me think Sora still got feelings for Ethan. Ethan still got feelings for Armin, and it's just a triangle right now. We also see a character named Carter, and that's one of the reasons Ethan wasn't mad about Sora taking the card, is because it was actually Carter's card. But I believe Carter, before we move on, I believe Carter is the last member from the last series, the one with the dark wizard ability with the time thing, time attribute. Who I'm talking about is the one who is rich, the small kid that grew up in season 2, the one who paid Ethan to train him a bunch. He paid him a bunch of money to train him, basically. But the funny thing is that Ethan, let's go back to the review. The funny thing is Ethan has Carter on his phone as stupid idiot. That's what I'm talking about. I like his character. It's funny. But the reason Ethan is calling him is because Carter's not responding to text messages. So he decided to call him. But while calling him, Ethan's starting to hear something like in his mind saying hardcore leveling warrior. So he started to freak out, thinking he's like hearing stuff. But he realized that his company name is Hardcore Leveling, and Carter came up with the name. And that's why I mentioned the Carter's time attribute. Because let's say somehow Carter was still able to keep his powers, and that's how you remember Hardcore Leveling Warrior name. But that's just a theory I have right now. But while he's talking on the phone and panicking, well, he's not talking on the phone. While he's trying to call Carter on the phone, panicking, we get to see the God toy coming down. Basically, the meteorites. I know I messed that up, but we just see the meteorite coming down. And Ethan's panicking because the meteorites is next to them. But then Ethan, when the more closer he stared at the stone, the meteorite coming down, he knows the eyeball looking directly at him. And that's when the meteorite crashes down, and we finally get the message that we all been waiting for. If you guys kept up with the series, you know what a system is. But we get to see a system boss. System box letting us know that Lucy Adventures has combined its map with Earth. It's also letting us know that the system kind of mess with our DNAs of the humans, and basically telling us that humans have the highest potential. So basically it's telling us that it probably messed with animals' DNAs and other stuff. And we kind of get a confirmation of that later on when they say all living things. So basically, maybe even plants, dogs, animals, and anything you consider living things probably has abilities right now too. Which I wouldn't be too surprised. We had that once. The last series we had plants and stuff like that. So it won't be surprised. We finally get to see Ethan character ID, which basically it was telling us he's so OP that the system basically restricted some of his stats, and he had a hidden I don't know how to say this, but mockery is a hidden thing which is restricted to phase 1. So I don't know what that means. Obviously, it's probably going to be explained in chapter 1 through 5. One of these chapters, 1 through 6. I'm sorry. It's probably going to be explained what that is. But let's go back to the system. The systems keep providing information and letting us know that we're going to be able to level up, use magic, and dungeons will start to appear. If we fail to complete a dungeon, monsters will be given the ability to attack Earth. But if we complete a dungeon, we will get rewards. That it can be anything: weapons, clothes, anything. But it did let us know if you die here, you die for real. So, like I said, SOA, so Art Online. I think it's kind of the same premise, except this is on Earth now. We finally get our first quest from the system, which is kind of quick. They just gave them the powers, and we already have a first quest. The first quest is an F rank quest. It's basically training for us, so it's not serious. It's not too high risk. People are probably not going to die. You basically have to do 150 damage to the dummy. It's a dummy quest. You have to do 150 damage. And this quest has 2 hidden objectives. So, obviously, since they say hidden, it's probably going to be more than an F rank quest if you find a hidden objective. It might be a C rank. So, Ethan is probably going to get one of them. Hopefully, he doesn't get both of them. Somebody else get the other one. But basically, the system was letting us know this first quest reward is a low tier experience box and a low tier job advancement card, which I'm excited for the advancement card. I just want to see Ethan get that and what he's going. Hopefully he doesn't get his. I love his lucky coin ability, but I want to see him work with another ability and see how he does. I hope he gets another ability. Even though I won't be mad if he get lucky coin, because he does. I do love that ability. But so we start. But either way, let me go on with the review. We start seeing people getting weapons, clothes, and one of the last thing we see them is people getting transferred to the quest location, which we finally get to see the dummy. The dummy is a scarecrow. And at the end of the chapter, we have a narration of basically the narration letting us know about the Forgotten 5 years has returned to Earth. Ethan is no longer able to escape reality between his alternate university, or I say university, universe, alternate universe or real one. So I guess he kind of had 2 of them. I didn't know that. And the chapter ended with the dummy attacking our group of 3, and which is this last panel is one of the coolest panel. You see the background of our 3 main characters, Sorrow for now. Our 3 main characters for now: Sorrow, Ethan, and Armin. I think that's how you say her name, Armin. And you just see a shadow. You see a picture. You see You see them, and then you see a shadow of them, of their former character from the last series, basically. So I think that's interesting. But that's the end of the chapter. So obviously we can't leave this chapter review without talking about the art style. Obviously the art style is really beautiful. If any of you guys had any doubts, it's hardcore leveling. The art is always going to be amazing. The pictures basically pop out of the pages. It's an epic story that's promised by the craftsmanship in each panel. The attention to detail was very excellent, and the character design. And I love even something as simple as Scarecrow. I love the design of the Scarecrow. I love the vivid colors of the panels. And one of the toughest panels I saw was the panel of 0. My thoughts on the chapter. By the time I finished the prologue, my mind was running wild. If you're like me, you're already a fan of the first series, and this is a very welcome return to something familiar. And those who are new, welcome to the world where adventures await you every corner. Now let's talk about my grade for the chapter. Hardcore Leveling Warrior Earth game. I give it 9 out of 10 story and 10 out of 10 based on the art style. So basically it accomplished all the goals of a prologue. It established the setting, it piqued my interest, and it leaves you wanting for more in one prologue. So I haven't even read the first chapter yet. I'm about to read it by the end of this week, so I can make another review by the end of this week. But either way, it's a 9 out of 10. That's my review of the prologue. Now, I got a question for you guys. How do you feel about the chapter? Like me, are you excited? Leave a comment below. Stay tuned for my future webtoon reviews by making sure to like, subscribe, and press the notification bell. Join us as we tackle chapter 1 in the upcoming chapter review. Obviously, my accent is kind of bad, so I gotta work on that. But either way, hopefully you guys love the chapter review. I'll be doing the chapter 1 review by the end of the week, hopefully, latest Monday. So, Toon Family out. Hopefully you guys love the chapter review. Toon Family out.